Valve surprised everyone when it announced that it was hiring IceFrog, the developer of the famous Warcraft III mod Defense of the Ancients. Since then, Valve has released the unofficial sequel to the mod called Dota 2, as a full product in its own right. One of the most densely complicated games ever made, Dota 2 lets players choose from any of hundreds of heroes, each with unique abilities, weaknesses, and strengths. Two teams of 5 square off against each other, attempting to take down the other's base. And as the heroes level up and unlock new abilities throughout the match, players can purchase items to enhance their abilities. Even more so than League of Legends, the sheer depth and complexity of the item list and the items' near infinite combinations provide Dota 2 with enough factors to prevent anyone from ever attaining true mastery over the game. That's propelled Dota 2 into one of the world's biggest esports, with Valve's financial backing its tournaments. Grinding Gear Games Path of Exile is an action RPG in which players take the role of heroes with a diverse array of powerful attacks and spells, who venture forth from central hub locations to battle monsters and demons from a top-down perspective in order to gain loot. Did that sound like Diablo? Let's be real, Path of Exile is a lot like Diablo. However, the central hubs are multiplayer, which makes it easier to find, partner, and trade with other gamers. And also, it's free. Grinding Gear has made sure to add major content to the game once or twice a year, making Path of Exile an evolving and growing experience. All that content is free too. What's more, players can choose which areas to run, and at what difficulty, at will. Levels are procedurally generated, so missions never go exactly the same way twice. Magic: The Gathering, the original collectible card game, remains popular over 20 years after its release. Recently, the game has made a successful move into the digital space with its current offering Magic Duels. While the basic rules in Duels are identical to the physical card game, the total set of cards is limited. But by limited, that still means there are over 1,300 cards to choose from. Even a stripped-down version of Magic is massive. Players in Duels can use pre-built decks or create their own, exactly like in the physical game, though deck construction rules are altered slightly. The cards themselves represent different spells, which might deal damage, summon creatures, destroy enemy cards, or any of a variety of other possibilities. Blizzard's strategy epic StarCraft II is extremely demanding. It requires a deep knowledge of dozens of units across 3 different factions, precision micromanagement, and grasp of both short and long-term decision-making. While this complexity served it well in the professional circuit, where StarCraft II is a top-tier esport, it has made the game intimidating for first-time players. In a bid to lure in wary gamers, Blizzard has now made StarCraft II free to play. Now, StarCraft II isn't a normal game. It actually consists of 3 parts. There's the original title, Wings of Liberty, followed by 2 expansions, Heart of the Storm and Legacy of the Void. Each of those expansions could be a full game in their own right. They add new units to the multiplayer, as well as complete the enormous single. It's a common life cycle for an MMOS. Start as a subscription service, watch player count dwindle after a few months, then announce the game is free to play. But Critic Studios' Neverwinter skipped straight to the end, designed from the ground up to be free on day 1. Based on the Forgotten Realms story within the Dungeons & Dragons multiverse, Neverwinter is a more beginner-friendly experience, emphasizing action over inventory management. Story and voice acting are high quality, particularly for a genre that doesn't often bother with either. First released in 2013, Neverwinter has been actively developed since then with both content drops and full-fledged expansions. Many of these take players to cities and areas that have never been visually expressed before, so players familiar with the Forgotten Realms setting can visit these places. After a decade of dark, gritty warfare against hideous butt creatures in the Gears of War franchise, Epic Games decided to switch gears and do something fun, colorful, and family-friendly. The result was Fortnite, a co-op hybrid of third-person shooter, survival, and tower defense genres. Players scavenge a post-apocalyptic landscape for parts, then return to their fort to construct massive walls and deadly traps. Waves of enemies assault their defenses, and players hope their architectural ingenuity paid off. Fortnite looks beautiful and drips with personality, setting it apart from the competition. In its collect and build mentality, it mirrors Minecraft in some respects. Even still, this unique blend of elements makes for a fresh experience even if you've seen all the pieces before. Valve's Team Fortress 2 is a multiplayer hero shooter with a cartoonish and colorful art style. Players pick from a small range of diverse heroes, but that's the last small thing about the game. An enormous number of weapons, maps, and modes await gamers, and that isn't even mentioning the massive amount of aesthetic items available for customization. How did Valve create all of this content? Short answer: they did. Or rather, Valve created the core set of maps, characters, and weapons, but much of the rest has been cooked up by the community itself. Valve has shown an unusual amount of support for the modding crowd, and they've reaped the rewards with their incredible content library. While the core experience features two teams shooting at each other, there are many variations. Capture the flag, King of the Hill. Blizzard Entertainment is famous for blockbuster games, from Diablo to StarCraft to World of Warcraft. But in 2014, the studio released a stealth project that nobody had even realized they were working on. A card game called Hearthstone. A fully digital reimagining of the popular collectible card game genre. Hearthstone allowed players to pick a class with unique abilities and cards, and then assemble a deck of spells and monsters to battle another player. And unlike any Blizzard game before it, it was free. The all-digital format let Blizzard experiment. Randomized card effects, impossible in a physical game, appeared in Hearthstone. Specific minion placement became important, since many abilities would have effects on adjacent characters. Plus, the audio-visual actualization of spells and attack. It doesn't get any bigger than the world's biggest game, Riot Games' League of Legends, a multiplayer online battle arena MOBA, inspired by the classic Warcraft III Defense of the Ancients. League of Legends lets players choose from a vast array of champions. Two teams of 5 battle, trying to destroy the enemy's base while also leveling up their character. The granular balance between offense and defense, damage and healing, tactical precision and long-term strategy elevated the game's popularity above its rivals, many of which are quite good and feature later on this list. Granted, for first-time players, League of Legends is notoriously difficult to get into. A key component of the game involves purchasing. Warframe is a third-person action shooter from Digital Extremes set against a space opera backdrop within our solar system. The core gameplay loop involves running missions for resources, level up, and progress to other planets. It's a hybrid of Diabolic and Destiny, all for free. What makes Warframe stand out is just how much content there is. There are well over a dozen planets, each with over a dozen missions. All of these are repeatable, and since the levels themselves are procedural generated, they are different every time. On top of that, there are a huge number of narrative missions and quests that feature unique objectives and levels. On top of that, there are a dizzying array of factions and clans to join or even start for yourself, which unlock new activities and gear of their own. And on top of that, the latest expansion, Planes of It.